Hi, I'm Tori.
And I'm Leah.
I'm Aram.
And welcome back to the Boys Lie Podcast.
A podcast where we talk about the craziest relationship stories you've ever heard, pop culture, and the piping hot tea of our lives.
So buckle up, enjoy the ride, and remember that
Boys Lie.
Boys lie. Boys lie.
Boys Lie.
Boys lie. Them boys, they be lying.
Boys lie.
Hey.
I'm so happy to be back on the couch with you guys.
Same.
I honestly love when it's the three of us. It makes me just feel right at home.
Me too.
Yes.
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 Right at home.
So do the girls jump into story time first and then we kind of have our little
Let's do it.
charade of yapping it up?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you have a story you'd like to submit to the Boys Lie podcast, please submit via boyslieofficial.com. And if your story gets chosen to be read on this podcast, you get a free sweatsuit.
Hell yeah, you do.
Woo!
Who wants to go first?
I can go first.
Take it away.
All right. This story starts. Here's the most awkward story ever and experience with an ex. We had just started having sleepovers, and we were definitely in that honeymoon-like stage. We had just went out for dinner, went on a cute drive, and then had gotten in bed, and he was being all cute and cuddly, and then proceeded to grab my face and say, "I love you so much, baby." We had been talking for less than a month. So obviously this got real awkward real quick, and he turned away from me and got super embarrassed because I didn't say anything back, as one would. A few minutes of silence passed, and he turned back to me and attempted to save the day by saying, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. I just thought I was with my ex for a minute." Obviously, this did not help, and it was traumatizing, and I immediately exited the bed, and a lengthy argument followed. Joke's on me, though, because I continued to talk to him for a few months following this, but you live and you learn, and above all else, boys lie.
Oh.
Would have been better if he just didn't mention that.
I know, but they had only been dating for a month, and he said, "I love you so much, baby."
I know that's still bad, but I mean, it's better than
hate pet
saying
names
this for someone else.
I hate them.
I know,
What do
you
you
do.
call Michael? Nothing? Just
We
Michael?
call like I'll be like jokingly and same with him. Like I'll be like, "Hi, handsome. Good morning."
That's a
handsome."
pet
That's
name.
cute.
But not like
You're not baby, babe.
I hate babe and baby because also like once you
Honey.
go through so many serious
Yeah.
relationships or like me being a serial dater, babe becomes such like a consistency. And for me, I'm like, ugh, like
Yeah.
babe is icky.
Babe's
Honey,
kind of friendly too. Like I don't know. I call everyone babe.
Yeah.
Babe as a friend though is fun.
Yeah.
I think it's different when it's like a significant other because that's their specific name for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Kevin calls me babe and baby all the time. So,
Yeah.
but like I've never called anyone out there besides Kevin babe.
No, but I'm used. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's some
Yeah.
people I'm used to it. Like, I've heard you guys say that, and I'm
Yeah.
not like.
She's probably like,
No, it doesn't make me quiver because I've heard it from you so many times.
yeah.
There was one nickname I remember you gave Kevin that like I did gag at.
No, he
it was
he
like
hated
a
it
snake.
too. Viper.
Oh, but where did that come from?
She'd be like my Viper baby, and I'd be
Oh,
like,
God.
oh,
I know.
like,
It was his name in my phone. It's since been gone. It's been gone for a while.
How long did that last?
Like a while.
it,
Oh,
so
God.
it lasted too long.
Did
Yeah.
he like it? He must
No.
have. Okay.
I despised
You both
it.
did.
I
He would say he hated it too. I don't know what I did. Like I was just like,
Viper
yeah,
baby.
loved it, and I was just like, oh,
Ugh.
it like gave me the ick.
Oh.
but I relate to this story because I accidentally one time said I love you by accident really early to Kevin.
What was it by accident though?
Yes.
Okay.
Like,
but I think that's different than saying like love you baby.
yes,
like
completely.
babies.
But like it's humiliating regardless. Like we were like FaceTiming. I was FaceTiming with him and he was sitting in his they used to have this like garage set up in his old house where like they all like smoke out there and whatever. And he was sitting with a friend and I was just like talking to him like normal. I was like, "All right, I gotta go. Love you." And I remember his face on FaceTime was like this. And like he looked at his friend because like I said love. I didn't mean to. It was just like a gotta. And then I was like love, like a love song.
It wasn't like that's what I was about to say. It wasn't like it was like a love you. It was like love you, bye.
Like
It was
passing.
like it was more faster than that.
But still, like I feel like it was still like embarrassing.
Did he say it back?
No, he was like this.
Sometimes though, like I don't know. I say love you to everyone. Bye, love you. So it's just
it's casual.
Yeah.
it flew out.
And
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
way you said it was more casual than that. But the fact that you guys were dating,
Yeah,
like,
it was embarrassing.
Yeah,
yeah.
I
My
totally
face was like
understand
bright
that.
red for like.
She like I remember when this happened specifically,
Yeah.
very clearly.
Like just one of the things where you like want to crawl out of your own
Did you
skin.
talk about it again after that or no?
I think I texted him. I was like, I didn't mean to say that, obviously. Like, and he was like, no, I know. Like, I made it probably a way bigger deal than I needed to.
The funnier part
Yeah.
is that like she really did love him at that
I
point.
did.
Well, totally. I don't actually love you. I didn't mean it.
Like a weekend, I was like, I think I'm falling in love with him.
She's like, I'm obsessed with
I
him.
know.
I get it.
Have you guys ever accidentally said I love you, or like had someone accidentally say it to you?
No, I haven't.
I've had people say it to me, but like really gross boys.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we'll bleep this out, but like, for instance, would be like,
ew.
and
Like during like a hookup or something.
not even during a hookup, like blatantly in front of everybody, like used to like announce it, and it used to be like a not feeling it thing.
Yeah.
Like it was very nice
to
feel the attention to a certain degree, but then there's this side of it that I was like, this is really dark.
Yeah.
And I'm just girl number like what?
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah. But I don't know if he should have even, do you think he should have even like said in this situation, like, I thought I was laying with my ex for a second? I feel like that kind of makes it worse.
No, I think you should just left it how it is. Like, sorry, that was too soon.
Laying
with my ex is like, oh, well.
I think that language
we just
is
had sex.
So poorly used. Like, so you're thinking about your ex while you're fucking me. Like,
yeah.
ugh.
Do you still love your ex then?
Yeah. But I've had moments that are really embarrassing where I've said somebody's I've dated's name to the person.
Sorry.
Was that holding it in or letting it go?
I was trying to hold it in, but I also let it go.
I
And that
never
sounded
heard
fucking
you sneeze.
crazy.
Yeah, I thought
They don't normally sound like that.
no. They.
Oh my
I was
God.
like, wait, I've never. That
No,
sounded
that
like
was-
you
You're having
like
a heart
choke,
attack?
Vomit.
That was really crazy.
Joking vomit.
No, like a little, like, oh my God. Sorry.
Whoa. Okay.
That was wild.
You learn something new about each other every day.
I'm not usually like that, I swear.
Like there was this time, and I think I've said this embarrassing story on the podcast like way early on. Super embarrassing. I had in college a relationship with an ex that was super toxic, and that's when Leah and I started actually becoming really close. When things ended, I was in like a deep rooted part of myself where I like wouldn't speak this person's name because it was so toxic and so ugly, the relationship. So there must have been like a 1.5 year span where like regardless of me like hooking up or dating with other people, I would never really bring this person up in general, like ever, even to my friends. And I start dating this guy, and it's a, what's it called? What's the situationship called when it's like
Long distance?
Long distance.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's one of those. And he comes in from Philadelphia, and it's like 20 of my friends in this apartment building pre-gaming in this room, and
a new guy.
and this new guy, and I'm like, I'm so excited to introduce you, and everybody, by the way, this is and I said my ex-boyfriend's name,
like
Oh,
humiliating.
and he had flown across the fucking country.
That is so embarrassing.
And meanwhile, I haven't said this name.
Were you drunk?
No.
Oh.
You're probably just nervous because like it's a little bit nerve wracking. Like someone flew across and you're
Like I
introducing
might
him
have
to
been
all
a
your
little
friends.
bit like under the influence, but not like crazy.
And didn't everyone start laughing?
Well, everybody started laughing so hard, and at that point,
would've
because I had
gasped.
said it, I did at first, but then I started laughing because I laugh when I'm nervous.
And then
like,
he's just getting laughed
and
at
he's
by
just getting laughed at, so he
everyone.
storms
nice to
out
meet
of the
everybody.
room.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm like, no fucking way did I just do that? And I like, at that point, I like ran back to the room after I had like my good laugh out for a second. And I was like, if you want to break up, I totally get it. Like, I totally
And then what happened?
understand. He like stayed.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he flew all the way out there.
And then the second he left, I broke up with him, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't the one.
Yeah, no, definitely.
That's so funny. That story is so funny.
It's so atrocious. But yeah, good times. Should I read next now that
Yeah.
I'm embarrassed?
Go-
and,
Yeah.
go for
saying
it.
Yeah.
Just continue on. Okay. The night before I had to leave for college my freshman year, my high school boyfriend told me that I had to leave his house early because he had plans with his parents. I didn't think anything of it until he told me he wouldn't be able to FaceTime that night like we usually would. I thought it was weird, especially because of how upset I was at the time as we were going to schools on opposite sides of the country. Come to find out, he spent the night in his parents' bed with them and his 19-year-old brother. Wait, so they're sleeping together?
Yeah. It sounds like.
Like a slumber party in...
Their own home.
And his brother's 19?
Okay.
Wait. And he's a freshman in high school?
No, he's 19.
The brother is.
The brother's 19.
Oh.
The brother's a freshman in college.
Well, if they're dating, then they must be like.
But it says, leave for college my freshman year. Oh, I guess the brother and him aren't far off in age?
Yeah, so
His parents wanted to have one last family sleepover. I thought this was really weird and honestly should have gotten away at that point because this continued to happen over the next year, including when we went on vacation together where they wouldn't allow me to sleep in his room any night because they all wanted to share one bed, even though there was 3 of them.
That is really bizarre.
Safe to say we're not together anymore.
some families are just really close.
That
But that's a new level, and that's fucking
Yeah.
weird.
you don't do that.
Well, especially because she's like
No, it's
calling
weird.
and she like misses him. They're about to leave and go to separate schools. Like I know that like feeling when you're like so young and in love and you're not going to see them, and then he's like, I gotta go, and he's like, and then the reason is because he has to sleep in his parents' bed.
I don't mean to be sexist when I say this, so I hope this isn't offensive, but I find this more common. For instance, like I could totally see you and your mom cuddling up in bed,
and
but
like,
the two of you.
Yeah, and like I was just to say, like if we're on like a vacay or like we're at like a hotel or something, like I'll sleep in bed with my mom. No problem.
And I sleep in bed with my mom still.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, granted, she can't sleep alone at all, period.
Yeah.
But like I do that now, so like I don't.
Yeah.
But I would feel so uncomfortable if it was me and my dad and my mom.
Yeah.
I would feel so
I
uncomfortable
agree.
with
Like
both my
there's like a
parents.
fine line, because when I like heard this story too, I was like, okay, I don't really like at first when the first sleeping in the bed situation happened before he went to college or whatever, like I was like, all right, I'm not gonna like judge, but like I would do that as a 19-year-old girl because I was so close to my family. I'd be like, can I just sleep in bed with you? Because I used to like love having sleepovers in my family's room. Like
What
I
if it
was
like you and Luke.
But would your
and
dad
parents?
too be there?
It wouldn't be with my brother and sister, but like I would sleep like next to my mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and Papa John in the bed too.
No, but I would used to sleep on the floor.
But I will say,
Yeah.
no,
And that's fine. I did that too.
I only slept in my parents' room once growing up.
Really?
Oh, I
Because
loved sleeping on the floor.
Whenever
So,
my dad was out of town, I always slept with my mom.
I like couldn't. It was like a thing. Like I have to have my bed and my
Yeah.
little nest. But my older sister had like trauma issues when she was in high school. After she watched the movie The Ring.
Yeah,
same.
that'll do it too.
No, but she like would get to the extent of like unplugging her TV and putting a blanket over it and putting blankets over the TVs in my parents' house, which if you know my family deeply, you know how many TVs are in their house, and it's like kind of
that
Yeah.
really affected her.
That really fucked a lot of people up, that movie.
yeah. But she had to go to like therapy, like dream
for The
therapy
Ring.
because of it.
It was
And
fucking
I mean,
scary.
it was really scary. Yeah.
she ended up like sleeping in their bed to a point of time, even throughout high school, to where they had a pull-out couch in their room. So Casey would sleep on the couch, and Chase ended up sleeping in my parents' bed
Damn.
in middle school. So
Yeah.
it was kind of weird how like that dynamic worked. So the two of them always had my
like a
parents'
sleepover in
room,
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I was always like,
Yeah, you're
Peace
like, see you
out.
later.
but I think there's a certain age limit where again Casey was sleeping if you're on the floor.
Yeah.
If you're in a pull-out couch moment, I think that's kosher. Like slumber party in the parents' room.
Yeah.
I mean, I would never do it now.
Me either.
Couldn't catch
I would
me
do it with
doing
my mom, but
I would do it with my mom. That's kind of the only person.
That's why I meant like in a sexist way. I don't mean it in a weird way. I would have a sleepover with my sisters.
But
like,
it's just like if we're all in the same house, I'm not having a sleepover with you. I'm gonna go to my room.
yeah.
Yeah.
Even on vacation, my sisters and I like would share beds.
Yeah, but
I would
if
still
we're
do
in
that
a
now.
hotel, if I share a bed, I will. But I'm gonna prefer always to not.
Well, I'm saying like even if it's a room where it's like a bed and a bed, like a queen bed. And
Oh yeah, that's fine too.
yeah, like, but the all people in one bed. Like also you're a grown
In the
ass
home too, it's
man.
kind of bizarre.
I know some families I feel like are like really weirdly close like that.
Yeah, but
like I
know
just don't
some
like
that
it.
are
I wouldn't
like
want to join a
this.
family that's really weirdly close like that.
Yeah, I don't.
Neither.
Because then you're like actually like having personal relationship. Your personal relationship with your partner becomes your family's problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, you're never going to be invited to sleep in that bed with them. So
yeah, I just think that's
ever.
weird.
Yeah, I agree.
I think actually now thinking about it, I think my throat phobia started from having sleepovers in my parents' room because I was sleeping on the floor with my sister one night and she threw up all over me. And I think that's where
I thought it came
No.
from Julie.
well, so then after that it continued. My mom used to get migraines and she would like drive us to school in the morning and she would throw up. Oh my God, I can't talk
You've
about
told
it.
you
Like,
talked
out the
about the
window?
wicker basket.
No,
story
there was
on
another one too. No,
Not a wicker basket.
No, at one
it would
time when
leak
she was-
through.
driving us to school and she had a really bad migraine. Oh yeah. She listened to this podcast. I can't tell the story. Sorry, Mom. But there's another one where she's driving us to school in the minivan. I'll never forget. And she had a migraine and so she like pulled over. She's like, I'm going to throw up. But like she didn't pull over fast enough. So she threw up on her lap
It's not funny.
because there was no place to throw up. And she was driving two kids around. Threw up all over her lap. Cheerios. I'll never forget it. She had Cheerios for breakfast.
She kept driving and dropped you guys off.
I should have been honestly taken home from school that day because I deserved a sick day after that.
Yeah.
It was gross.
I used to get so car sick on the way to school. Like I don't know why I'd get this spiraling anxiety. I think to be in a social setting, especially on assembly days, like those were my worst days. Immediately on the way to school. By the way, Baldwin from my parents' house was like maybe a 5-minute drive. Like it's a straight shot. You go up Montgomery. Every single car ride would vomit. Like
Your parents
without a
probably
doubt.
loved that.
Car ride even to the airport, on the airplane, vomit.
What
Like,
about like on a bus? Did you ever take the bus to school?
absolutely vomited on the way to camp. Like I ruined the camp seats of the bus that we were on where like those felt. It wasn't like
Oh,
maybe that's why I don't like that texture of that velvet. texture.
Well, I sort of just don't like that on my skin in the summer in shorts.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
It's always stinky too, probably because people throw
Like
up on
at
it.
summer camp or day camp at Camp Sesame Rockwood, as the kid who like threw up in the van bus situation.
They're like, everyone put your feet up. It's coming down the aisle.
Because it with the fabric seats, it stunk for the entire camp season.
Yeah, and they can't clean that.
And I remember it was like those. Like it was the Count Chocula cereal,
Oscar's
but it was
hungover
like
and
the
he's, like,
pink
dying.
one. It was like a strawberry.
Okay.
one.
So your puke was pink.
And chunky.
Something that I hate a felt seat like that too. Like when you go to the movies. I mean, granted they've changed them now, but like.
Oh my god, the felt seat in the movie.
Yeah, because like stuff sticks to that fabric. It's not like leather we could
disgusting.
just like wipe it off or.
No.
Yeah, I do appreciate the leather seats though in those like recliners.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Same. That's luxury.
I got in an Uber recently and it was felt seats and I just felt like I don't know. I felt really
God.
gross. It was
You
in
never know what
Arizona over the
happens.
weekend. Yeah.
Especially if it's like a long car ride. No.
Nasty.
But there was one time my friend's dad got this brand new, I think it was like a convertible Maserati, and she was like my best friend, and he was so proud of the car. My dad will say that like openly, and he decided to pick me up on the way to school, and
Your parents didn't give him a fair warning.
Did
She
you
likes
puke
to
in the
barf.
car?
I ruined the car.
Oh,
like my dad
God.
offered to like
felt
detail
seats.
it. No.
Oh,
Your dad
good.
definitely knew though. You getting into that car was a
my
50-50
dad used to
chance.
be like, I'll give you $10 if you don't
puke.
puke on the way to school.
Did you ever get any money?
Were you ever puking out the window, like a pullover moment?
It was never like that. Like it would
there
always
was no
just be like-
bags in the car.
It would just be like, and then all of a sudden it would be like, like there was never a moment of like grace where I could be like,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
Or like a puke bag.
my parents started to,
Okay,
they
yeah,
did bring the white baggies on the plane. One time it was all over me, and it took like 3 years before my older sister would like sit next to me on a plane after that.
Damn. I mean, I've
Now
probably
I'm
had the
scared to
same
sit next to you
reaction.
on a plane. No, just kidding. I've been around you so
Done
many
it.
times where you puked, but it's just like it's still to this day like it still freaks me out.
I
Dude,
know.
puking is such. It's so crazy.
It
All
is.
right.
I hate puking.
I'm indifferent to it. I feel like I've done it so many times in my life.
I went to Puerto Rico. I mean, if we're gonna keep talking about puking, can we
yeah,
keep
let's
talking about
let's
puking for a
hit it
second?
one more time before we
Okay,
get into
I have
the last
one
story.
puke story. I went to Puerto Rico on a 7th grade school trip for like Spanish class or something.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah, no, it was honestly great. And
Yeah.
we like stayed at this like Puerto Rican woman's house, and she like made food for us.
That's
like
sick.
it was a really cool experience. But we all got food poisoning last night because we like ate tamales at this like church.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
our flight was the next morning.
so it wasn't the
no.
Puerto Rican lady that did that. to
No,
you.
it was the church who cooked the tamales.
Shocker.
Yeah, we really eating them at
You're
some
all
church.
just getting. You all have how
That
many
priest
people?
really wanted you to stay.
There was like 13 of us.
13 all have food poisoning.
Every single one of us got sick. And the plane ride back, all of us were puking. Like without it, every single person. Puke
That's
on,
my plane ride from
puke on the
fucking
clothes,
hell.
puke everywhere. It was
I'm still dying.
it was brutal. Yeah.
Like I can't even think about like seriously one of my biggest fears is sitting next to somebody on a plane who's like drunk or something and like can't control themselves and like pukes. Like I actually like don't even know if I'd be able like I don't think I could handle it.
I've white baggied on so many planes that I did right before our first time going to the PCAs, right before the night before I had landed in from Mexico. I had some of like the worst food poisoning ever. And when we were landing, like it's like you can't get up on the plane situation. I remember waking up and I was in the middle seat and I was so hot. And Michael's like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And we were still dating.
Did
Like,
you feel sick before that?
no.
Okay.
I literally grip the white baggie, and it's kind of like not kosher in this era because COVID just happened. Like you're not really supposed to even cough on the
Yeah.
plane at
Yeah.
this point. Immediately,
Those
just
bags aren't big enough either.
Okay, I know.
not
That's what
even
freaks me out the
close.
most.
Like not even close.
No.
I'm like holding the bag, like even getting off the plane.
Yeah.
And you can't just like hand that off to like a flight attendant. You're like, I'm so
Can you
sorry.
take this with me?
You can't. I've never. That was the only time I pooped on a plane was Puerto Rico. So
It's terrible.
yeah.
I can't believe all 13 kids. I
All of
also
us.
wasn't the only one who was sick at that wedding, by the way.
I'm sure.
There were like 100 people down bad.
Yeah. Someone ate. Someone. There was something that everyone ate that was
It's the
bad.
ice, I think.
You.
Oh yeah, the ice will do
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Okay, last story.
Next story.
Sorry.
We could talk about puke for hours. Okay. Dated this boy for a few months I knew from the beginning wasn't a good guy. He was the life of the party, and when we went out, I was okay with the fact that we were having fun, and I didn't like him that much. He was so bad at lying. I would watch him ask girls for their number in front of my face, then lie about it. One day, I was in his room with his best friend and found an extra small Nike Pro shorts on his floor. I'm not an extra small. She decided that we had to snoop more. We found ketamine, cocaine, and a literal antipsychotic medicine in his drawer, a butt plug in his closet. I don't know if it was for him or her, then wait for it. an entire drawer dedicated to women's underwear. The worst part is mine weren't in the drawer, and one of them had shit stain on it. I confronted him in the most iconic way so he didn't know I was snooping prior, and made an 11-page PowerPoint on all the shit he has done. Happy to provide more details. XO.
Can you send us the PowerPoint? I'm genuinely
Yeah, I would
curious.
love to
Shit
see
stain
it.
underwear.
Please send the PowerPoint our way.
I don't like the tread duty marks.
And also, why would he not like throw those away or like wash them?
I feel like an accessory to the story. Like, I don't like it.
I feel like he has like a weird, kink. If he has
Or maybe
all
he's
these
a girlfriend
women,
or something.
But
It's
if
her
he's-
drawer.
I mean, I guess, but why does she have so much underwear at his
Why does she have
house?
shit stained underwear in her drawer?
I mean, I feel like having like a few things at your boyfriend's house is fine, but like, why does she have a whole drawer full of underwear? I feel like it's underwear he collects from like women.
Yeah, and he clearly sniffs
It's
them
giving,
in his
like-
free
yeah,
time.
it's giving
like he's not washing
underwear
those
kink.
panties.
What would you guys do if you were like dating somebody and like you were like fresh dating or something?
And
I
they
don't
sniff
know.
your
And
underwear?
no,
Oh.
well that would be weird. But and they like went to go shower and like they took off their pants and like you were like in the bathroom whenever you looked down and there was like poop on their underwear. What would you do?
I'd be like, what, like, dude, you
I
got
would-
shit on your underwear.
You say
Honestly,
something?
I think I would have to.
I know that
Like, you're not
someone
cleaning.
who like this had happened to actually.
Oh really?
And she didn't like acknowledge it or say anything, but they like immediately like she's like, no, I'm never seeing this kid ever.
It says a
Yeah.
lot about you.
Yeah. Especially for like men's underwear too. Like if it's like boxers, like there's no reason
it's
you should
like-
have
You should
poop
have shit on your
stains.
You
underwear.
know what? If there is a moment that you do, like God fucking forbid,
Yeah.
like put that away. Know
Yeah.
that you gotta put
throw
those,
away the underwear.
Yeah.
Throw away.
Know that those have not like they cannot see the light of day. Like, if you
Yeah.
feel
Throw it away.
confident enough to just leave those out, you have issues.
Yeah.
Maybe it was that day type of thing.
Like because I'm not gonna say like that's never happened to
No,
any of
no,
us.
of
we've
course.
all had skid mark underwear.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like, or I'm like, maybe she like saw like period stain underwear. Like,
Oh,
which
yeah, and
everyone
it turned
has. Like,
brown.
everyone has their period panties that like, you're like, I just wear these
A
'cause,
girl
like,
knows the difference between a period
stain,
panty.
yeah.
The shit stain.
Than like a poop
Yeah,
stain.
you do.
for
You
sure.
can tell the difference.
You for
Yeah.
sure can. But like, if you're looking quick, like, I don't know.
Because also like if you do wash a shit stain underwear,
it should
it's gonna
go
go
away.
away.
Ew, and like I'm not putting my shit on poop and on
In
No,
the wash
but
with
I'm saying like
everything
your
else.
blood,
yeah.
for instance, it like stains clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like a different look. It
You
just
have
looks
period
like
Poop would
panties
wash
for a
out.
reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Women have period
Yeah.
panties for a reason.
Embarrassing for all aspects of this
Yeah.
story. Like,
She has no reason to be.
no, not her. Like,
Yeah.
whoever, like, that's
But
just
send us
embarrassing.
the PowerPoint.
Yeah, I need to see the PowerPoint.
Yeah, me too.
Before we jump into like next subjects, the one thing I do have to let everybody know is I got my jeans back.
Woo.
Thank God. Tell us how.
Everyone's been wondering.
It's a really anticlimactic story, honestly. I drove to Liv's. She had them out, and like her whole house was cleaned and like folded, and she was super apologetic. So like I was super appreciative of her apology, but she had also said that the friend had just grabbed them from the room. Like it wasn't like she was like, "Oh, wear them," or she wasn't suggesting any of that. And the thing that I think bugs me about that specifically is I had my stuff in a Loewe bag that was like it's not like a leather bag. It was like one of those shopper bags. It was just empty and I had a big one. So I was like, oh, I can put all my stuff in there. So all of my stuff was tucked away in that bag in the corner. So
Did it
Liv's
go through the
closet,
stuff?
where all the production items were, I mean, her stuff is racked out in the same way our stuff
Yeah.
is. So it's like she has racks and racks and racks.
yeah, but it's like in the front of the room, like right when you walk in, and ours was like in the back of the room on the bed, like by the bathroom.
So this girl literally went past Liv's, by the way, like beautiful like Narnia wardrobe of
Yeah.
things, and she went through the wardrobe where the production stuff was to look at the Loewe bag and pull jeans out of my bag.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Well, I
Yeah.
just think a homie doesn't do that. Like think about it. Like if you had a nice shopper bag, right, and like there was a Loewe bag open on your bed, I would never go to that. I would
No,
go to
me
the jeans that
either.
were hanging
That were
up in
hanging
your
up.
closet because they're
Yeah.
already worn,
Yeah.
used, whatever. Why would I go to that bag and be like, oh, I'm gonna pull out these really nice pairs of pants?
She
Yeah.
must not be like, I don't know. Just doesn't sound like she's a good friend.
Yeah.
Well, maybe she's a good friend to Live. I'm just saying that's fucking rude.
It is fucking
Well,
rude.
so you got him back, and then we found out what really happened is that she put them on and then walked out, and Liv, I think, was
It was
like,
too
wait,
late.
those aren't my jeans.
Like in the words of Justin Bieber,
Yeah.
it was too late to say sorry.
Damn. Well,
jeans are back.
thank God you got the jeans back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're back. They're safe. They're clean and washed.
Jeans are back. Okay, I have something I want to ask you guys because I've been like seeing this a lot recently, and it's just something I've like never even thought about for myself. But I'm really curious to hear what your guys' is. Who is your dream blunt rotation?
That's a good question. I'm gonna name just people off the top of my head because I haven't really thought about it deeply.
I haven't either. I don't even know who mine is, but I'm like, everyone talks about that.
My
I think it's
first
so
one is
funny.
Pedro Pascal.
Oh, okay.
I'm just obsessed with him.
Are you watching The Last of Us?
No, I just love that man.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
love everything about that man. Charlie XCX, Pedro Pascal. I'm blanking.
Okay, I have 2 at least.
Go.
Well, 3. Lady Gaga, Heath Ledger, and Tom Hardy.
Hot.
Yeah, it's a nice one.
Oh, and Margot Robbie, just because I fuck with her.
I wanted to turn into an orgy. Like right after that.
Maybe even Kate Hudson.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
a good one.
would love her.
I love Kate Hudson.
She's a vibe. But Heath Ledger, I feel like, is like a good
Oh my God.
highlighter.
Drew Barrymore. There we go.
Oh.
Those are my
she'd
3.
be a really funny
Yeah.
person to
Those
be
are
high
my-
with.
And I think she'd be really comforting. She loves to like touch and hug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine, honestly, I was thinking about it this morning. You guys are going to hate my answer, but mine would be Kylie Jenner, Kris Jenner, and Kim Kardashian. I think that'd be so
I would love
funny.
to
I
be
would do it.
included
Yeah.
on
Seeing them
that.
be like so high.
I like your answer.
Yeah, I like your answer.
Just because I feel like if I were in a dream blunt rotation, like I would for sure want to get like insight from somebody like Heath Ledger, but I feel like I'd want to be like laughing, and I feel like they would be so like.
I still think there's
Yeah.
like ways to laugh within the group.
sure.
I think that those are just like my icons. So I think
Yeah.
about like if I could actually smoke one with somebody,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
And those are just people I'm obsessed with at this moment that I thought of.
Yeah, yeah.
immediately.
Like originally I was like Justin Bieber, but then I was like no, because I'll just get high and weird, and like I
I
wouldn't.
feel like he would ick me out
Yeah.
if I was.
Did you see his post the other day about Hailey's Vogue cover?
Dude, he's kind of a weirdo. Like,
yeah. I know that you're a super fan. I'm like,
Well, no, it's slowly starting to dwindle because like I was really bummed out. Like I don't even know why he would even post that, saying like I always told Hales she would never get the cover of Vogue. Like why would you even put that in writing on the internet?
He says too much.
He says too much.
He says too much.
I was listening to the Rogan and Jordan Peterson podcast episode. I sent that to you. Jordan Peterson, by the way, has this book called The 12 Rules to Life, and I read it in my initial grieving process of understanding my mom's disease, and it's just like always stuck with me. And Jordan Peterson's amazing, but there's a piece of advice he gives in it, and Joe even gives in it, about having a significant other. And Joe says something along the lines of like, whenever you're fighting with your partner, no matter what you do, you should never, ever, ever insult them. And he's like, I wouldn't be fighting with my best friend and insult them and
Yeah.
their character. So I would
Yeah.
never do that to my wife.
For sure, 100%.
And I think that Justin's post kind of reminded me of that, because afterwards he's like, it's not right to fight with your significant other in that way, and you should never be like lowballing them. But I don't think Justin's had like a significant point to it other than
just saying it to say it. I don't know. It's bizarre.
maybe he just wants to say he's like a changed man of like in his lowest, but like that's not something that like you should ever even put out there. Like that doesn't make people look at him and be like, that's funny, or like that's like that just makes people look at him and be like, you're an asshole.
He's kind of giving like really weirdo energy
know.
lately.
Yeah.
and-
No one knows what he's gone through, so like I
True.
have no idea, and I have no idea like what mental struggles he's
But he's been
just
bizarre.
the things like he doesn't need to say. He's talking too much,
talking way too much.
and I wish he would just like shut up.
Did you guys like the cover though?
I
thought it was
did.
pretty.
I read the
Okay.
article too.
I read the article too. Actually,
Yeah.
the full thing.
There's
Same.
two shots on it that I did really love. There's like 2 others where I was like,
I liked
wish-
others more than the one that they chose.
They did it in that glass, the invisible house.
I
which
know.
Me and Tori actually low-key, we stayed in an Airbnb like literally directly next to it one year, which we were like, what the fuck is this? This was like 2018.
Josh Busher, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually a really cool house. Also,
Yeah.
the owner had to reach out to us too, just being like, if you ever want to stay here or shoot here, blah,
Yeah.
blah,
Well,
blah.
we should.
Just a weird setup. It's a cool thing, but it's just like weird in there.
Yeah.
like,
It's a cool
and
thing to
bed.
shoot at though. Like
For sure.
to have a photo
Yeah.
shoot at. That's really dope.
Yeah.
But yeah, there were certain minor things that if I was like creative directing, I would have changed. But I think that's
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
any creative looking
But
at
she did
anything.
look gorgeous.
Yeah,
I
she's
like the one of her in like the burgundy coat, I think it was, or something, where it was like kind of half off. I didn't love all the pictures by the glass house.
Wrote
liked
it in
the dog.
Sephora. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Yeah.
Sephora.
Rhodes actually, I mean, I think with the Biebers too, the things that they're going through right now publicly and privately are probably really tough. I don't know anything privately. This is just kind of
Yeah.
my outside view of it. The whole thing with Scooter and Justin owing him money. Did you know about
Yeah.
this?
No, he owes Justin money.
So
Justin owes him
basically,
money. Pay him, Justin. You have so much money.
in the height of his
I don't think he
tour,
does.
had to
Oh,
back
damn.
out of one of his tours, and because of all the ticket sales, they had already taken a loan out to do the tour
Was he
from.
not getting People were buying tickets.
No, people did buy tickets,
pulled
but
out from mental health.
So he pulled out of the tour.
I read that in the article.
So then, because people pulled out of, or because he had pulled out of the tour, people had purchased these tickets. So the money that they had loaned, they owed back to the company.
The like production company or something.
Correct.
Okay.
And they owed back to refund the customer.
Right.
So it put Justin in a lot of debt. And basically, I guess Justin had paid a certain amount of debt back to Scooter because Scooter was essentially the one that had fronted the money. And at one point, their, I guess, argument online, it says this allegedly, is that Justin said at one point, like, Scooter had taken advantage of him in regards to the money that he had gotten paid with his commissions in his company. And so he asked for them to reevaluate the inside books of what had occurred and what Justin had paid back. And so the company, Scooter Braun's company's evaluation was like, oh, Justin is left owing us just $1 million of like something insane. It was like 20 or something.
I think at first it was, I forget.
I don't know what the number was. It's probably
8.
not a true number.
This was all public.
So then the audit,
Justin's audit.
So Justin goes back and
more.
says, I don't owe you like $1 million.
Yeah.
I want my people to re-audit. If it's just $1 million, like they need to go back.
It's like a third party
auditor. And his people who were the third party auditor go back and they realize he actually owes $8 million. So if Justin just didn't fight back and he paid the $1 million down,
he would have been done.
Him and Scooter would have been done this, but because he didn't, they have this like $8 million that
that's why Scooter's not like suing him and like making it happen.
Scooter, it seems like he's like making it public. Like it seems like these publications that are coming out with, oh, Justin owes Scooter Braun money, like who do you think is actually sending that out to the public?
I mean, it's gotta be someone on Scooter's side.
Yeah.
Well, there's also been like rumors too, like, and I honestly believe some of them, like Justin's team was paying themselves a lot more than he even knew like was happening. Like he wasn't in charge of any of that. But I think that's why he also ended up selling his entire music catalog for $200 million. I think it's because he spent a lot of money and didn't have as much money as people assumed.
But even with the money that he had spent, he clearly overspent, and like maybe that was in his
look at the way he lived
times essentially, or potentially. Again, I know nothing factual of this, so like don't take everything that I'm saying.
I want to tell all though.
TMZ just did this dumbest fucking thing. Like I'm like, leave him alone. Like they did a whole documentary on him. Like what's wrong? What's happening to Justin Bieber?
But
like,
he can
chill.
make money if he did it himself. Everyone would tune in.
What?
If he were to like make something about himself and be like really vulnerable, like a book, movie, whatever, everyone would watch it and he'd make so much money from it.
He hates the press. He doesn't want to give them shit.
But I also think it seems like he's trying to do that with Skylark. That clothing company. So I think it seems like he's trying to do a new outlet of art on his own. And the one thing I will say, and I think that people have to give Hailey Bieber a bit more credit for, is that with Rhode, I think she's selling a huge portion of it. And I think that money essentially, hopefully, will get rid of Justin's debt, being that when you're married, it's like a whole, you share funds and such.
Maybe. I hope they don't share funds.
But regardless, it seems like a little bit like she's coming in to rescue him.
She's making
it feels like
bank.
that. I mean, it kind of feels like she's like the one.
But I think there's something.
He's like the supporting act.
Yeah, but there's something to be said about her and her character to be the doting wife and the mother, new mother to his child, and still be supportive of all the craziness that he's causing.
I know. It was sad because in the article she was talking about how like she's like all the stuff. I mean, obviously she's like most everything you read online is false, but she was also saying like being postpartum and then reading all of that is like a whole nother monster. And it was so shocking to when she was talking about her like birth too, because she was like, I was laboring for 18 hours and I had to give birth like no epidural, and I'm like, that's crazy.
And they had to like put a
balloon. She was hemorrhaging and she was bleeding.
Yeah.
But
crazy. Childbirth is crazy.
I didn't know that she get like no epidural is nuts.
Yeah.
So I've respect for. I'll always love Hailey Bieber.
I just have to like tip my hat off to her because I know the internet comes for her a lot of the time, and honestly, like I don't know what it would be like to walk in her shoes for a day. And also there was a thing that Bieber had posted when he was coming out of the house with her and her baby and him, and it was like all these paparazzi this close to their face with the cameras, and like no wonder paparazzi will get like slapped sometimes from different people, or how like certain celebrities have reacted, because he's like, this has got to stop, I think was the caption.
I don't get how there's not like more laws on that.
I don't know.
It's
really crazy,
sad, and I honestly think that like I can understand a person's like mental I don't know, depletion after especially being that famous for that long and that constantly being a consistent. But I do tip my hat off to Hailey.
Yeah, same.
And I think that's not recognized enough.
No, I agree. Love her.
Speaking of things and celebrities, I have been following the Diddy case. There is like a minor conspiracy I have around this case, and I want to reiterate, like, nothing I say is
everything is alleged.
Yes. But from an interesting perspective, there's this girl who's in the Department of Justice on this case for specifically like Diddy. And her it's Maureen. It's spelled Maurene, and then Comey, Comey. I should look her up, but Maureen is also the prosecutor in the Epstein files case, and she was also the person responsible for holding on to all of the Epstein files, including sourcing the one file where he had allegedly committed suicide. And she lost that file. And what's interesting is that with her being the prosecutor of the Epstein case, her dad was the director of the FBI, and he's the one who hired Ghislaine Maxwell for cybersecurity. So it's kind of weird that she's also the Department of Justice lead for the Diddy case when her dad was already kind of in a close relationship circle over cybersecurity for the United States with Ghislaine Maxwell, who's...
You said the lead prosecutor against the Diddy case, or for the Diddy case?
For the Epstein case. She's the lead prosecutor for the Epstein case.
Like she shouldn't have been picked.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. Wait, so what is she doing for the Diddy case? I'm confused.
I don't know if she's lead prosecutor, but she's on the team for the Department of Justice for the United States for that case. So she's against Diddy technically, but she was technically against Epstein in regards to her collecting
she lost the files.
Yeah.
I mean, she still locked him up and put him away.
But he
killed himself.
And there's no proof of that.
No, I know. Yeah. But I'm saying she still got...
There's no literal proof that the public has seen. For instance, they have just quote unquote said, oh, it had to have been a suicide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds really crazy of me to say.
And suspicious, I think.
Maybe I shouldn't say it.
But very interested.
I feel like Diddy needs to die. Like,
I
think there is a time, I think there's circumstances where jail's not enough.
I agree.
Like, die.
If he died tomorrow, I'm sorry. Like, I wouldn't feel anything.
No, I don't.
I would actually, I'd be like, goodbye and good riddance. He's a disgusting person.
I think either like,
I don't want him to live.
But is like, in my opinion, because I've been watching that just through X or whatever, like, if the claims are true, and regardless, the claims are horrific and disgusting, in that video of what he did to Cassie is atrocious. Enough. It says enough about him and his character to me, where
there's
it's like,
no way he could.
Is it weird I say death is not enough for someone like that? Like, I truly think that
public, put him out in the public on a stake, okay? Let everybody gather around and have their way with him.
Back.
Yes.
Crucifixion.
Like, seriously, tar and feather. Like, tar and feather wouldn't even do it.
Like, I feel disgusting saying that because but honestly,
it's the way it used to be.
It feels fine to say with this situation.
Put him out on a stake, tie him up, let everyone come.
With the things that were said and just that, like, that isn't a horrific human, and I truly feel bad for every individual involved. I feel so bad for his kids. I couldn't be more empathetic towards his children.
I'm a little confused though, because aren't they going to the court?
Yeah, but I think he threatened to take away like their inheritance.
Oh, of course. I'm sure there's so much about that.
Like, I mean, that would be an assumption.
Yeah, he's like, you guys need to come, like,
allegedly
support me.
Yeah, I would assume that, but I wouldn't know that.
And then I'm also like, even when he does get locked up or whatever happens, like, I feel like there's still people that, like, I feel like
he's gonna get killed in jail.
I feel like he has plans with people that we don't know about, who have power and like his money, that are still gonna like come after other people.
Yes.
And like, you know, like,
it's clear though, like, between him and Epstein, and I keep making that comparison too, like, these men are so egotistical and narcissistic, in my point of view and my opinion, that it's kind of crazy to think they would commit suicide.
No, I know. I agree. They didn't.
But I also am like, are they going to put Diddy in a place where like there are other people that could even hurt him?
And then lose his tape?
I don't know. Do you guys think chopping off a penis is a good enough punishment?
Yes.
Yeah. I feel like
that's really good. Is that a thing?
Like, I feel like,
I think it used to
I feel like it's better than the death penalty. Like, chop off the penis.
Bring castration back.
I don't know if it was ever like a real punishment.
Bring castration back. We're starting a movement. I'm not kidding.
No, seriously. I
that
think
is
that's
better.
Like, chop off the balls,
that is
chop
so
off
much
the
better.
penis.
Life and misery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a hole that he can pee into, or a bag.
No dick. Prison forever.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good.
That's really good. I like that.
Thank you.
Damnly.
Thank you. I should honestly be in charge of the jails.
You should.
Truly.
Castration. Stoning.
Stoning.
Crucifixion.
Tar and feather.
Yeah.
The Maureen Mosley thing in particular is something that really hits different to the core.
Yeah.
No, it's wild.
It's really weird that both are there. And you know who's also been really on point, I guess, with his social media lately in regards to this? 50 Cent.
Yeah.
50
Oh, I know.
Cent
He's
has
hilarious.
been all over it. And I also don't want to make a joke.
He's been all over it for a while.
Yeah.
Long time.
But I don't want to make a complete joke out of it because I do feel bad for instance, like the victims and such. Like their stuff shouldn't be like made into memes.
Yeah.
And I think that that's awful. And this conversation is hard as is, but I do think it's really crazy. Like there are complete advocates against him.
Which is wild.
That come from like a celebrity status, like 50 Cent, in my opinion, is an A-list celebrity.
And I love it.
Probably because they're scared.
And they know things that, we don't know.
Yeah.
My one question about this was like, how do they pick a jury for something that's like so
Must
high
have been so
stakes?
hard.
Because I feel like everyone knows everything.
mostly
Everyone's
men.
biased. Oh no, I don't know that. But how do they pick them and
It's
know
a
that
cute,
like
long,
they're
long,
not
long
like
process.
But I feel like it happens
Questions,
kinda
like even if
fast.
you answer one question and even like a slight way that you don't even think is a bad answer, like they'll be like off. But also they both have to agree on the.
I feel like the trial literally like happened so quickly. So I'm like, how did they?
They
pick
probably were researching it for a
Yeah.
while. The people who
I
they're
was
gonna
about to say
select
this
Yeah.
has
for
probably
jury.
been ongoing, like a back end of like private investigation, but I also think there's so much true evidence to it that it's easy for them to bring to light.
Yeah,
Like-
they wouldn't have gone after him unless they
I
had a
Definitely
fucking
not.
great case.
But aren't
Yeah.
you supposed to be like a non-biased and like don't know anything if you're like
Yes.
joining the jury?
Which
But
is
everyone
impossible.
knows something.
Yeah, but I think there must have been a limitation in regards to like the view of what that
guess.
is.
I wonder if they
And I
looked
think
into
that
like their
makes-
search
Yeah.
histories too, and like even years ago.
Well, I
like,
think
internet,
that's
yeah.
next to that as well. They probably picked the all men jury knowing that, you know, a lot of this is a swayed opinion of the jury because the jury has to be like the voters, being that it's all men and this is very specific to rape in general. Like it makes sense for Diddy's case specifically to want an all male jury. And I hate to say that also.
I feel like there needs
today. I'm
no, but there
sorry.
kind of needs to be both.
There needs to be both.
There needs
in
to
my
be both.
opinion.
I feel like that's not fair. At the end of the day,
But that's like
they were picked though by both of the like both the prosecution and the defense. Like
I guess, yeah.
so, like they agreed.
Let me see if what role
I don't
she
know.
plays actually formally. Let me quickly Google that.
I think it should be a rule. Like different ages, sexes,
Yeah.
all the things.
Kevin, when he went to jury duty, he's like they just nail you down with questions all day, and then like they kick some people out. They're like, all right, you can go home. You don't need to be on the jury, and then you have to go back the next day if you're still maybe being decided on. And Kevin's like, I literally gave like every answer I could to be like, don't pick me. Like Kevin was like, I even like. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but like I even like lied about a question because like it was like a case against like robbing or something, and they were like, do you think that robbing is okay? And Kevin was like, yes.
I would say that too.
Because he was like, get me home.
Did he get home?
Yeah, he ended up. But like honestly, like if I ever get picked for jury, like I feel like if it has to do with like anything that has to do with like sexual like harassment or anything like rape related, I'll just be like, I have a company called Boys Lie, and it would be easy out.
Yeah.
See
true.
ya.
See ya. I'm biased.
I'm biased against everything.
I've never gone jury duty, so
I've
we'll see if I do.
neither.
Well, can't you just like not answer it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never done that. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, I think it's fine if you don't answer
Yeah.
it. A lot of people don't answer it. I wonder how long this is gonna go.
I wish it was live streamed so bad.
Same. I'd be tuning in.
Same.
Like the Amber Heard shit. Oh,
I know.
that TV was on
I know.
at work for like weeks.
They were live streaming the Idaho murder case.
I like hate
Are
to
they?
say
When's
it,
that?
but I love a live
June,
stream
I
case.
think.
Well,
Or
the
is it
Idaho
June?
murder case. I'm gonna be
But
watching
they
that.
said that by the first week of July, this case is supposed to be over.
Okay, so we'll like know something.
Yeah, I guess.
Hopefully.
He's not. Is he staying? He's not like going home at the end of like jury, like trial day, right? Like where's he like being
Jail.
held? Okay, yeah, he's in jail. Good.
Straight to jail.
Jail.
Right away.
Thank
But yeah,
God.
the Idaho murder case. I'm trying to figure out when it's gonna be. I sent it to Tori, but I need to like look it up.
Well, I'm definitely gonna be tuning in.
Same.
'Cause I feel like I don't really know much about that either.
Oh, it's okay. The trial of Brian Koberger, accused of stabbing 4 Idaho students to death, will be live streamed. It doesn't even have the date. Damn it. Hold on.
We can Google it.
Yeah.
Later. Yeah.
My foot's asleep. Oh my god.
All right. Well,
That's the worst.
Oh, I have one more fun little thing.
Do you want to save it for the next episode?
Oh yeah, we can do that. I'll
Yeah.
save it for the
Yeah.
next. We're
Yeah.
recording 2 in one day.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, you'll have to just listen to next week's episode.
And if we're in the same clothes, that's why.
Well, on that note,
Buckle up.
Enjoy the ride.
and remember that.
Boys lie.
And so does P Diddy.
Boys lie. Boys lie.
Boys lie.
Boys lie. Boys lie, y'all.
Boys lie.
Them boys, they be lying.
Boys lie.